Hello, Rise Up Visionaries. I'm Susan May, and I'm here to share my journey to inspire you on your journey of unplugging. Okay, it says I'm now live. I am so confused with this live stuff. It says I'm live, and then I talk, and then it blinks, and it says now you're live. So if you missed my intro, I'm here to help you on your journey of unplugging. um, So I actually put a post up earlier letting people vote on what I would talk about today because most of these lives are very inspired in the moment for me. It's like whatever's going through my head and on in my life and inspired by what other people are talking about and just musings that I've had in my life for a long time. My dear, wonderful mother has been the recipient of my thoughts for many, many years on the phone. So now I get to go live and share them. And so I had two possibilities of directions to go in today. And I got one vote. Thank you, Tony Baloney. And she wanted me to go in the direction, or he wanted me to go in the direction of choosing beliefs. And what does that mean, that we can choose our beliefs? Okay, so there's a couple really important things here to know. First of all, most of our beliefs we do not choose, okay? And I think most of us kind of intuitively know this, that our beliefs are kind of programmed into us, a lot of them as children. Now, maybe some of us rebel against that idea a little bit and are like, no way, like, there are things that my parents tried to make me believe or teach me, and I rejected that stuff. And that is true also. There are things that we react strongly to, and maybe we examine them more closely. But for the vast majority of our subconscious beliefs that are down in our soul and in our bones and that drive our everyday behavior, it's not something that most of us have really looked into and are in control of. So this idea of choosing beliefs is really, really, really important. And I think it was Mark Manson. I really like that guy who I'll have to see if I can dig up his essay about this, that we can choose our beliefs. And if there's two beliefs here and one just feels really awful and doesn't serve you, and one makes you feel amazing and serves you and makes you raise your game, makes you live your best life, which one should you choose? Okay? And so we're going to get into this idea of choosing beliefs and also how truth relates into this. Like, does it matter if a belief is true or not? If a belief is true, but it doesn't serve our good or our higher good or humanity's higher good, then is that belief helpful? Okay? So my journey of like really examining beliefs, probably examining consciously and really thinking about these things, started with Hypnobabies. And when I learned about our subconscious mind and beliefs and how beliefs are so important. So in Hypnobabies, we try to retrain our minds and our subconscious to believe that childbirth can be empowering, that childbirth can be comfortable even, that it can be an amazing experience that you look forward to. And so that was kind of my first experience of this. And this is why I am such a lover of hypnosis. And hypnosis is closely related to meditation, okay? Because you are creating that state in your brain where your brain can accept new ideas and you can change your subconscious beliefs. Whether you call it hypnosis or meditation, they are very similar states, okay? So I want to look at a very specific belief that a dear friend of mine brought up this week in a conversation on Facebook. Random conversation. I saw his comment. I commented back. And the belief is that humanity is like a scourge on the earth, that we are just horrible, that earth would be better without us. And here's the deal. I can understand why people believe this. And actually, I kind of remember the first time that I realized there are people out there that do believe that like all humans should just like stop having babies and we should just like kind of take ourselves out of the equation. And that like really blew my mind at the time. I was an adult already, but a young adult. And it was someone in my family, someone close. And when I came up to that belief, I was like, wow, I never never even considered that belief. And so I didn't feel offended. I still don't feel offended by it because, like I said, I can understand why people think that. They see all of the, quote, terrible things that humans do. They see all the problems that we need to solve. They see like pollution and like other animals suffering, and maybe they're nature lovers and they see how it seems like we destroy nature. Now, we're already getting into some territory here of humans versus nature. And I'm going to direct you to Zach Bush if you want a new perspective on that. I love Zach Bush, and I completely agree with him when he talks about that humans are part of nature. We need to stop warring with nature, and we need to realize that we are part of nature. Okay, and so right away, there's a belief that we're butting up against. One thing I want to really talk about with this idea of like us being this terrible, just cancer for Earth, for nature, is this helpful? Is this belief true? Okay. And I had this little sign up on my wall for a long time, and it said think, THINK, going down. And it was like, before you speak, I want you to think. Before you speak, T, is it helpful? Is what I'm about to say helpful? Or no, sorry, true. T is for true. Is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? Now, this was about speaking to other people, but I realized today it can be helpful for beliefs too. Are all those things accurate about a belief you hold? Is it true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind? Now, this idea of humans being a cancer on Earth, it might be true. Maybe. But I'm going to dive into that in a little bit. But is it helpful, inspiring, necessary, or kind? I'm going to go ahead and say no to most of those. Maybe necessary might be the only one, but it's not inspiring, it's not helpful, it's certainly not kind. Okay, so I understand people agonizing over big, terrible ideas like this. When I was a kid, I worked on a farm, and then I helped my family build a golf course, and I did a lot of manual labor, which manual labor is great for getting you in your body, but also your brain can go wild because you don't need to think. I was picking rocks. Any of you know about picking rocks? Take a screwdriver, pick the rock up, put it in a bucket, dump the bucket, 4 hours at a time picking rocks. And I would just think about all the starving people in the world, and my little heart would break. I was in a middle school. I was like, why can't we figure this problem out? There's got to be enough food in the world. What are we doing wrong? And then, of course, all the guilt that comes with that like, I have all this good food. So I get it. I get people, like, thinking about these big problems. I get it. But as an adult, what I've come to realize is what I want to focus on is what's in my control, what can I control, what can I not control, okay? So, believe it or not, you can control your beliefs. It's not maybe easy, it's something you're gonna have to practice and learn about, but you can choose your beliefs that are helpful to you and your loved ones. Now, I believe believing that about humanity is really not good for you because it's so depressing. I mean, what are you going to do if you believe that humans should be wiped off the earth? What are you going to do with your life? Like, then why are you here, right? And then what about if you're a parent? What about your kids? If you believe this horrible thing about humanity, even if you don't say it out loud, how are your kids being impacted by this belief of yours? So that's one thing I have in my mind. Like, if I hold on to this belief, what is it doing to me? What is it doing to the people I love? What is it doing to my community? So I really believe it's our responsibility to consciously choose healthy beliefs. Because when you have healthy beliefs, you are going to live in a way that elevates your own life and those around you. You're going to inspire those people around you, and maybe you'll even come up with some solutions to these big problems. So think about this. You believe that, like, there's all these problems. What do you believe about humanity? I think that's really important. I believe that we are capable of good, we are capable of amazing, awesome things, and we are capable of bad, we are capable of terrible things. It's all within us, and it's all within each one of us. That's why our choices are so important. I believe that humans are curious, and this can be an amazing thing, and it can also be a frustrating thing. I believe that we're not going to stop being curious anytime soon. We're not going to stop inventing. We're not going to stop thinking technology is cool. I believe that we often don't look down the road to the long-term consequences of our actions, but I also believe we can get better at that. I believe that we're amazing problem solvers. So yes, we make big messes and problems, but then we also are creative and find solutions to those problems. Okay? So other big beliefs that I have that help me with this particular belief is that nature, God, the universe, whatever you look at when you see the earth, I think it's way more powerful than me and way more powerful than humanity. So I think in the balance of things, things are going to work out. Now, does that mean that humans might someday go extinct? Could be, because that's what's happened to lots of species, right? But the other thing I know for sure is that we are all going to die someday. I'm going to die, my kids are, my parents. And so I really think this is a central truth that people just try to avoid on a daily basis because it's scary and it can be painful. But when you face that truth, a lot of other big things get put into place. Like, yes, this is going to happen someday. So what am I going to do today? I look at other animals, okay? Because we are animals, in case you didn't know. Now, I know there's some debate, especially with religious people, Christian people, about us being separate or different than other animals. For the sake of this discussion, I'm going to say we are part of nature. We are very much mammals. Yes, there are things that set us apart from other animals, or it seems to us at least. Our speaking of languages. But are other animals worrying about their destructiveness? I always think of ants and anthills. Are they like, oh my gosh, I am ruining this part of the earth with my huge big anthill? Are carnivores worried about the balance of the ecosystem in which they're hunting? Or are they thinking, dang, I'm hungry, I need to eat? One example that pops into my head is dinosaurs. When I was looking at a book with my daughter, there was this example, and they talked about how much gas, I think it was methane, scientists believe dinosaurs put into the atmosphere, and it was like way more than what we put into the atmosphere. Do you think dinosaurs were worried about how much gas they were putting into the atmosphere? So I think a lot of our problem sometimes is how much we overthink things and how powerful we think we are, because we are powerful. I'm not saying we aren't. But we often equate that powerfulness with negative, with destructiveness. What if we equated our powerfulness with our creativity and making the world a better place? And so for me, every day, I'm going to wake up and say, what can I do today to make my life better, to make the people I love, their life better, to make people in my community, to make their life better, and to spread that kind of inspiration so that we're all lifting each other up. So that's that. I hope that this was helpful for all of you. I'm rambling on here, so I'm going to just let you go. But I want you to remember to always be bold, be brave, be you, because who else is there to be? I'll be back again on Wednesday at 11. I love you lots. I hope your week is off to a great start.